recording. Alright, I think that should be it. Right, so the recording is starting. That's all done. Let me quickly check the laboratory chat out. Let's see. Let me open the live stream chat as well. Alright, so what I've been looking at today, after I came back from the gym, was how oil performed during the London kill zone, and it actually played out very well. We got two very beautiful entries, all based on our turtle soup model. But unfortunately, we're very occupied during the London kill zone, trading the scalper strategy. And yeah, I think it should also definitely stay this way. I'm not going to switch anything around because of the simplicity of our other system. And yeah, we had this movement. First of all, we had our high of the day pre 2 a.m., which would have been, no, I think I made a mistake here. The high before the 2 a.m. close would have been this high right up here. So we would have been looking for a short above this level or a long below this level. So now, pre 2 a.m., we can see that we had this pump to the upside and a slow pullback inside of this optimum trade entry. We also have been offered a fair value gap entry at the very bottom, which lined up perfectly with the optimum trade entry, which would be the 70.5 Fibonacci retracement target. We could have placed our stop loss one tick below the low because we have another little fair value gap right here. Just targeting the high of the day would have been a nice and solid 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And we're already done. Sorry. Alright, I thought I had to sneeze just then. Alright, so then during this first hour of the session from 2 until 3 a.m. we saw the market continued pushing up, and then we also have the the London Open macro right here from 2:30 until 3 a.m. New York local time, where we saw that we formed equal highs right here. And then right at the open we pumped above those equal highs, had a pullback, another new higher high, and right here with this down close candle we shifted market structure. Also note that we are above the 2 to 3 a.m. high from this hourly candle. We are right above this high, shifted market structure, returned into the fair value gap at the 50% level, hit a very easy 3-to-1 risk to reward, which lined up with that low where we got our first entry from. Very simple. Then we continued dropping into the 1 to 2 a.m. low. This pretty much has been the initial turtle soup strategy of ours. During those macro times, we'd like to see our setups to occur basically. We don't always get them right here at 2:33 and 3 a.m. New York local time. We should really shift that one over to, let's say, 2:50 until 3:10. Half an hour windows they usually are. And yeah, this way we can be more precise with our analysis, or where we would like to see the setup that we got, for example, right here to happen. And most of the time it's actually happening after the new hourly candle opens, so I don't really understand what this macro is for. But I will work on this, and this is just for testing purpose as of right now. I think on NASDAQ today it worked out perfectly, this macro, so I'm not sure if it's just for indices or if it could also be used on oil. So let me get back to it. We took out the 1 to 2 a.m. low. Right here we had the 1 to 2 a.m., which would have been from this hourly candle to this one right here. Equal lows, with also lining up with the low of that second hour from 1 until 2 a.m. So we have two equal hourly lows right here from this hour. And from this hour, we broke above this hourly candles high right here, 1 a.m. high, and we would have waited for a market structure shift to happen until this hour. So we did not get a market structure shift right here within that first hour after 2 a.m. Then we had this last push above that high above the previous hourly candle. I hope that makes sense. Shifted market structure and reversed all the way down to our midnight to 1 a.m. and 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. low right here, and then we consolidated for some time. Consolidated, formed equal lows, and we have this 403 until 430 London macro where we shifted market structure. We left behind beautiful fair value gaps for us to enter on for a potential 3-to-1 risk to reward, just targeting the current high of the day, which also lined up with that first high that we formed on London during London. So we have equal highs to target, and that's pretty much all we have to do. We don't have to always go for the highest possible targets that are available. So very, very, very clean delivery on crude oil this morning. Also on Nasdaq, I think. Was it? I think I did the Nasdaq analysis on this chart. On Nasdaq, S&P didn't perform as well today. I think the setup was very clear on Nasdaq and also on oil. The currencies, I don't really like the price action they've done today, and oil has been very similar to what we saw on ES and and Nasdaq basically. So once again, we have our 1 to 2 a.m. low, and we also have our current high of the day from the new daily opening right here. This is the new daily opening right here at 6 p.m. And we have our high of the current daily candle, which would be sitting right up here. As we can see, we broke above this high, we had a pullback, we formed another higher high, we had a pullback, and then right here we failed to make a higher high. And already on the ES, we continued making a higher high, pulled back, and this major pullback here on Nasdaq has just been a slight pullback for another continuation up higher. So this high right here on the S&P 500 actually turned out to be above this level right here. So all this basically happened up here on the E-mini S&P. So we had a divergence with the Nasdaq or with the ES right here. We had our market structure shift. All right, I just got disconnected from my Apex. So yeah, we shifted market structure right here. We had our rejection block or our breaker block, pulled back right inside of it with a beautiful 3-to-1 risk reward ratio just to that low. And then also pretty much the same thing we already looked at. Yeah, that's ideally what we like to see, a stop hunt or a accumulation phase, a manipulation, or a extending phase. That's what we like to see during those macros. Like right here we had a typical extension macro, whereas right here we had a manipulation macro where we shifted market structure and then we got our expansion to the downside. Right here we also took out the 1 to 2 a.m. lows, very similar as we did on oil. We shifted market structure, even returning to this lowest fair value gap available to us right here, lining up with the 50% level also right here, so we get an entry below the 50%, and we would target the first extension, this high right here, also lining up perfectly or even further for a higher risk to reward. But I think I might just even reduce my risk to reward for the strategy down to a simple 2-to-1, because a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio strategy is very powerful and our take profit is going to be hit quicker. So yeah, that's pretty much all we need, and especially with that Apex trailing daily drawdown rule, I think this would be in our favor. So for example, a 2-to-1 would have already been hit here after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we're out. That's all. We don't care if it's running for a 10 risk to reward. We take out 2 risk to reward and we're done. Pretty much the same way as we do every London kill zone so far, using the scalper strategy. Alright, so we're going to wait until 8:30. Let me quickly from until 8:30 right here. All right, and then we want to see the New York session starting from 8:30 until 11. That's our timing window. It's about to hit 8:30 very soon, and we can already draw out the high and low for the session. This would be the high of day for America, and the low of day is sitting all the way down here. Gonna keep it simple and only strategy, what we've been testing. That's the low of day. That's all the levels we need right here. Where's this coming from? We can get rid of that one. Get rid of the macros for a second. We're gonna leave the importance of time indicator on there. So those are the only important levels that we want to focus for now on NASDAQ. And let me actually also turn on now. That should be fine. Let me quickly go to the daily time frame here on NASDAQ, because we took out the high of the day already, or the previous day's high. That is our previous day's high right here. As you can see, we cleared pretty much all the buy side we have available on the June contract. So we go back to the 1 minute. All right, so this is our previous day's high. Let me quickly, come on. If it's eventually going to load, I want to drag this previous day high line over to current price. Let's just switch the charts for now. And we're going to do the same thing with ES. Right here, I'm using a slightly different setup. But overall, the idea is going to stay the same. We have our pre-8:30 high of the day right here. Here we have our previous day's high already on our chart. New York high of the day. And our low of the day would be the Asian session low. Right here. This is what we're looking for. We got already a pretty strong rejection right here. We will see, because we want to look for a reversal market structure shift above this level. But if we have the previous day high just a few 20 ticks away from our high of the day, we would also prefer to get our setup right above here. So we have that all set up. We have NASDAQ now also set up. If I can shift this previous day's high level right here, we go back to the 1 minute. So once again, we went above the previous day's high. This is our current high of the day that we did not go above right here. So let me open up another chart for all the currencies that we're looking at. Now, actually, I don't want to do that. I want to focus on one, and then I just switch through the charts. All right, so we have ES. Let's also check out oil. Our pre-8:30 high would be right here. This is our high of day for New York. We can set an alert here. For NASDAQ, we've already got that on there. Let's see if this already has been a move, and we collapse now to the downside. On ES, we already have that set up as well, but not on this chart, so we're quickly going to do that. The high of day for the New York session, and our low of day all the way from Asia. So let's check out the GU. Similar. Our high of day left behind. Pretty solid uptrend today so far on GU. And our low of day sits right here. Alright, we can also set up an alert for that. And let's go over to EU, because on EU, as we can see, we took out our high of the day. So this would be the US high of the day. We took this level out and we already shifted market structure. We look for the lowest point between those two highs, which would be right here. So this would be our market structure shift. Market structure shift bearish. So right now, if we get that retracement, I would measure from the high to the low for a potential entry into this signal, because this is a valid signal. Alright, therefore I would have to log out of my trader weight on this chart, because the main focus is going to still be this chart, where we follow or execute our very simple strategy, where we want to see a break above or below the current high of the day before we develop something that's more sophisticated, I would say. Alright, so this would be our setup. We have our fair value gap on the 1 minute chart. We can also check the higher time frames. Also market structure shift on those higher time frames. Over our targets. We could also now argue that this might have been used as a liquidity grab to the downside to potentially, no, I think we might be good to go. We have equal lows right here. So sell side right here. And we have the low of the day for the day right here. But ideally we would now like to see a retracement into this candle before we actually enter short. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. We're going to keep an eye on that. A 50% retracement entry would be ideal, but we could also just collapse to the downside. Pretty sure we had some news going on. Where do we have that? Forex Factory. Yes, we had core PCE price index going on. And we also have some news at 10 a.m. Quite a USD goods trace balance, personal income, durable goods. Okay. Bunch of news at 8:30 and also some news at 10 a.m. So we keep that in mind. Alright, for an ideal entry, if we consider it as one, we would look forward to short this fair value gap. Then therefore I would add one contract right here. One contract at the 61.8. Let's see, so our first entry we would get in here at this price level. Our stop loss pretty much has to be this high right here, so we go for a 25 tick stop loss. We are risking 6.25. We can just use this tool here quickly. We go in with 1 unit. That would be already $156 of risk by using this big of a stop loss. So I'd say ideally we want to get in at a slightly higher price than that. Here we have our low. This would be order flow for a potential. Good question. I add one contract to it right here. And this should be fine. Not going for the optimum trade entry. Targeting that first extension, which also lines up with that sell side liquidity or the low of day. But we will see if we even get back above this level. Let's watch our indices quickly. They're also moving to the downside. Same for Nasdaq without ever tapping back into this fair value gap. Same for oil pretty much. And same for the British pound. So Euro US dollar is pretty much the only one. We've also have delivered a trade already, went slightly above the high of day. Alright, let me check that out. But first of all, let me quickly, we want to buy 2 right up here. I don't think we're gonna get that fill anymore. Oil delivered. The high of day was right up here. So where do you see that oil went above the high of day? You might not be looking at the futures chart. That's why maybe with some shady Forex broker, they already moved it above this level to hunt some liquidity. Yes, if you go to the CME charts, usually the session indicator has an offset of 1 hour. Alright, so as of right now, only a drop to the downside on all our charts. Let's see if we can catch an entry. I would consider this as the move to the downside. Now I would like to see a pullback roughly to the 50% level, which would be right here, to get a fill inside of this fair value gap for a potential high of the day reversal. But of course, this could also just be used as a move back into discount. If we look at the expansion that we had already today, for a continuation move. So we will see. Testing purpose. Let me check the 2-minute time frame to see what we're looking at here. On the 2-minute time frame, we would have already received a fill with this wick right here. 5-minute time frame, volume imbalance, fair value gap is reaching down to this level. We had a nice slow and steady move to the upside. See this little uptrend right here? So I want to get in at, my first entry should be right here at that market structure shift. We're now filling in this 5-minute fair value gap. We will see if we can reach those targets right here. 5-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute. That's what we're looking at right now. I want to get in at that market structure shift. This is the 5-minute fair value gap. But I'm going to reduce it to the 1-minute that we're currently looking at. So we see this little uptrend, market structure shift. Let's see if we actually can get our fill. Alright, let's watch our futures. We also had a little bounce from here. Check out NASDAQ, doing the same thing. Oil also pulling back. We have our alerts all set. Euro US dollar already rejected again. British pound here as well. Remember, this would have been our 5-minute fair value gap, but just a little bit too big for my liking to get a fill on this wick regarding the size of it. So overall, not an ideal risk-reward ratio entry if I would have entered right here and I have my stop loss right here at the current high of the day. Alright, I think this trade is pretty much over. Yeah, I wouldn't have felt secure by getting in on this 5-minute fair value gap. Because look at the space where it could have returned towards to. This little wick right here. But overall, we have those two equal lows as a target and the low of today, which is also perfectly lining up. If we take a close look with our extension, if we measure from the high to the low, we got our pullback into this 5-minute fair value gap, and our first extension target is perfectly lining up with the low of the day for the London session. And none of our alerts have been triggered yet. I will add one on our charts. Alright, we're dropping. Maddie or Ulrich, would you have felt safe entering on this 5-minute fair value gap? Out of curiosity, or would you also have liked to see a pullback further into this gap that has been created on this 8:30 news candle? I mean, the entry pretty much would have been this. Our first extension, taking some partials off right here, and our stop loss. I mean, of course, if you place it right off at the high of this candle, it's only a 1.8. I would have said maybe it might would have made sense to, okay, we try to get in at the very bottom of this fair value gap. So if we go above this level right here, let's say the 50% level of this fair value gap itself, we want to be stopped out and try to get an entry around the OTE level. So yeah, I guess that's just I think we could consider it a mistrade. But maybe we still get that pullback. But at that time, we could almost consider it as a new market structure shift. So if we would take out the sell side liquidity and shift market structure, then we could actually be looking for a long. Yeah, I definitely agree. So if we continue further to the downside on EU, we would like to see those two fair value gaps right here to hold resistance. Into the sell side liquidity. Let me get rid of my sell limits. They're pretty much done for. We could try, so please don't copy all the trades that I take on this account. This is just a trial and error account for me that I use while I'm doing these live streams and we are building our strategy. So I might try a little silver bullet setup right here, just using one contract. Going to get rid of it if we go above this high or above the high of that candle that created the fair value gap. And we are going to take our profit right here. Let's see if that works out. Let's go check out our S&P chart. This fair value gap also kept on holding support, and now we might be reversing. Yeah, we are reversing. Same for NQ. This fair value gap also kept on holding support. Oil is about to scrap our high of the day. Let's see if we close above this fair value gap. I will close this trade early, and I think we might get back up into our fair value gap, our initial fair value gap. Yep, we are out. This one did not work out. Yes, oil is about to go to that high. Look at this recovery, this sharp drop to the downside into those last two lows with a quick, okay, so we took out the high of day on oil. We could now be looking for reversals. So oil is done. Let's mark this up. We would be looking for shorts on oil. NQ is now inside this fair value gap right here. So this could be a potential short, but I want to see the high of day taken out properly before that. Same goes for ES, but we actually never left a fair value gap behind. Let's see if we get an entry on our 1 minute fair value gap this time. Not the 5 minute. We want to see a move above and then back to the downside. This little silver bullet setup did not play out. In this chart, we're going to use it once the market opened up at 9:30. So for now, we're going to keep an eye on euro and oil. So we can see we gapped above this high. And we would look for a market structure shift. Currently the lowest low, we already shifted market structure right here, had a pullback, took it out, so I'm not going to focus on any of that right now. This is just a mess. We could go on the 5 minute time frame for some clarification where we held support in this fair value gap and we did not shift structure on the higher time frame. Well, we did. So now we would look for a reversal setup above this high of the day. All right, let's see. We still have this little volume imbalance right here. So it might have been worth to place my stop loss above this high really, to also make sure this volume imbalance. We've been rejected from it 2 times. We got above it, yes, but we did not close above it. We will see. Oil should be moving higher. Yes. So Nasdaq is now right inside this bearish fair value gap. But I would actually like to see it break through this fair value gap, hold support, and continue back above the previous day high to take out the current high of the day. Alright, this might be it. We might get our sell side delivered on EU now. Anyone keen to take that 850 to 910 macro? We keep an eye on it. If we got in right here, targeting a stop loss at the previous day's high. A 2-to-1 risk reward would have been down here. Let's see. Alright, we're about to form a new lower low, once again rejected of this volume imbalance. Targeting this sell side liquidity below. I was close with my little trade idea right here, silver bullet setup, but I did not prepare for a pullback above these fair value gaps. Now we have equal lows right here. And we have a new. It's now about to go high. What is? Check oil. Alright, let me. So we would like to see this high broken. First of all, for a nice setup, even though I don't want to short this bullish momentum, really. To look at structure, I keep an eye on it. Euro US dollar, so now we would have maybe another opportunity to take a silver bullet short right from those two fair value gaps once again, now also with equal lows below. And I might just try it again right from this level and place my stop loss one tick above this high. Let's see, and our take profit target is going to be this short has to play out, at least those two equal lows. We can see NQ just dipped into this fair value gap right here. Go back to oil. Right now, ideally, we would like to see it push higher and higher and higher. We can watch the market structure and look for a potential short. British pound pretty much doing the same thing, also with equal lows right here. That are likely the next draw to the London low of today. Let's see if that was just a retest of the fair value gap for the continuation lower, or if we're actually going to hold support and continue back above the previous day high and high of the day. Oil looks like it might be making this push now. Anyone keen to take that Nasdaq short? I'm not going to take it, even though I'm using the TraderWeight account, or at least this one, as a little try and error one to see what works and what does not work. Okay, the British pound. Let's go back to our euro. Yes, it did not take out the high of today. I'm just looking at it, and it could play out, but it also couldn't. Yeah, and it did not. It did not take out the current high of today. Let's see if this euro fair value gap can hold resistance now. But I also want to check. Okay, I think we're about to break the high here, making this our most recent higher low to keep track of. I'm having my doubts with the Euro US dollar setup, but we will see. Take profit target is going to be right here. One here and two here for stop loss. And also one buy limit at the low of the day. Once again, I would close this trade out early if we close above this fair value gap, but because this would just tell me that this fair value gap is not being respected at all, like it is showing me right now. Alright, I think taking these silver bullet setups is not the way to go. We could pretty much strike that out for now and prefer waiting for a proper entry for our setup. Because obviously price right now would like to push back up and maybe fill in some of this area. Check out oil. Okay, oil made a new high, nice. So we keep track of that. This is our most recent low for the market structure shift, so we can set an alert right here. So we're not going to miss anything. And Q now above this fair value gap, so we should see this fair value gap act as support right now. This inverted fair value gap. So we had a little fake out move at the beginning, and then we kept on holding support throughout all these fair value gaps. Now we're pushing back above the previous day high. We should see the same thing happening on ES. We've got our alert on oil set up, and we might get an entry here for our initial setup. We will see. We're back inside this 5-minute fair value gap now again. You can see right here is the 5-minute fair value gap, but we are focusing on the 1 minute. Annoying. Right, so we're about to hit our 1 minute fair value gap. We now hit the 50% level. I'd like my entry around the 61.8. At a second contract right here. On the optimum trade entry. 1 tick below that. 1 tick below that. And our stop loss is going to be the high right here. I do not want to see a wick right through it. Let's see. This would be our setup into the sell side liquidity. Right here on GU we pretty much see the same thing. Let's see what oil is pumping. Oil left the chat basically. Let's see. Massive pump here on oil. So we can, for now, Disregard oil. Our most recent high or low would be now this level right here. Pretty strong pump. New hourly opening. Pump to the upside. Go back to our EU chart. Also new hourly opening right here at 9. Could have kept track of that, but we will see. We got our entry on the 61.8. Let's see if we're just going to pump right through it like we did on NQ pretty much, and ES. British US dollar is pretty much showing the same setup, but we did not take out the high of today, so it's not a valid setup. We scale into our trade, and our take profit target is going to be all the way down here. Our average entry is likely going to be right in the middle of it if all our targets get filled for a potential 5R. Making up for all those silly silver bullet setups. Silly silver bullet, yeah. That should be a thing. Alright, if we want to see oil continue, we would like this fair value gap to hold support. ES pushing up, NQ. So right now we would like to see this inverted fair value gap to hold support. Let's get rid of this little short. This is bullish. We maybe go to a lower time frame. We could see a market structure shift, and yep, we have. Right here we had this drop, low market structure shift with a strong displacement, not taking out these highs right here. Pulled back inside of the fair value gap. If we draw our fib from high all the way to the low 50% level, everything lined up, continuation up higher, pulled back once again into the fair value gap, went sideways a little and made its final move back above this inverted bearish fair value gap now. Let's watch EU because this is the trade we're looking for. Oil pulling back inside this area. Let's see if we get our optimum trade entry fill. High of the day would be mine. 3 to 1. Alright, we got our entry. We also have a old 5-minute time frame volume imbalance here that we could mark up. That kept on holding support. Broke through it. Now we could see it act as resistance. 15-minute fair value gap is being filled right now as well. The question is if this has just been a leg down for a continuation up higher, or if this is actually going to be a reversal. I also not going to plan on taking partials. We're already in profit. This is our entry. We did not get the optimum trade entry fill. With how many contracts did you enter, Maddie? 1. Okay, we're on the same side here. Taking those 2 equal lows as we pretty much can't even take partials with 1 contract. Alright, looks like the setup is playing out nicely. What's happening here? On a seconds chart, I guess the macros are not working very well. So we would like to see this area holding support now for the continuation up higher. Back above the high of today. We have a nice volume imbalance, rejection right here, or opening. Do you see an overview for the daily trading drawdown? Maybe if you log into your TraderVate account, you might see that, right? Yeah, I thought so. So if I quickly do that, TraderVate. Today I tried a few different setups also during London, which didn't play too well. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, so we want to make sure I'm not going to over leverage. Right here, those are the ones. I'm pretty sure. Total PL right here, so I've got roughly 50% to go. Not. Okay. No worries. Let's go back to our trading view chart in the meantime and see if our trade is playing out. Quickly check out oil. Pushing back down. GU as well. Focus on euro as it's the only valid setup. Cursors in. Let me need to see that on my big screen. Your cursor. Where's that little thing? Add the account view and then select that common. It deletes the cursor. I see. Yeah, I was looking for it. You gotta add the account view and then select the column. All right, we might figure that out. Settings. See that push on ES? We pretty much see the same thing on NQ very likely. It's called drawdown auto. All right. I will search for that later on, not during the stream. If we go on NASDAQ, we are now going to see that this inverted fair value gap kept holding support. We also had some more confluence with bullish fair value gaps right inside of it. Kept on holding support. We got a rejection, continuation to the upside. Stop loss on that on this one would have been, if you would have entered on the confirmed rejection, one tick below this run right here, targeting the high of the day for a quick scalp. Not strategy, just pointing it out. Same here for ES. Let's see if euro is going against all the other pairs. That's the video that explains that. Let's see. Going to take a quick look at that.
Here is how
Alright, so I have to go to my trader weight. And add account. Right into, yeah, okay, that's interesting. I haven't used trader weight much. Okay, accounts. Alright, I think I figured out what I have to do. Alright, then I go into settings. Alright, I think I've got it now figured out. Where it's showing me that. Got a track, I've got roughly 1.5k left. Thank you very much, Maddie, for telling me that. Let's see if EU can make that last push into our 3-to-1 risk reward. We could also only be targeting a 2-to-1, which would very likely increase our win rate and make life a little bit easier, but since the sell side liquidity and the low of day is lining up so perfectly, we're gonna keep it this way. Nah, there's no chicken out of the trade. You can place your stop loss at break even. I mean, there's always this option. I mean, yeah, I would have very likely maybe done the same if the account wouldn't be a $34 account. I'm currently using it to play around and test what's working, what isn't working. Okay, fair enough. I want to at least see those equal lows being taken. Yes. Alright, so ES. Let's see if this fair value gap keeps on holding support. That's what we would like to see in the bullish case, as all the other bullish fair value gaps kept on holding support. Alright, let's see. I should have had more than one contract on. I was waiting for it to get a fill on the optimum trade entry. But yeah, that's what we're gonna have to work out, how we perfect the strategy to make everything work. So we might not parse it into a trade, As we can see, it's not the smartest thing to do, because sometimes you have a big trade then, and sometimes you have a small one. We want to keep it consistent, and therefore I think, yeah, a fair entry would be the 61.8, or even if it's just a 50% retracement level, depending on the setup, I would do that. Let me quickly close my window, otherwise you're gonna hear someone mowing the lawn. Alright, there we go. It's about to take out those equal lows. Yes, there's so many lessons to learn. It happens to me so many times too. But it's good. I mean, you close the trade and profit. You're learning from it now. And same as I learned from taking those two stupid silver bullet shorts. I'm just going to leave that for now. Alright, I want to see those lows taken out. And my target is going to be right here. Let me add a buy right here. Not much to lose, so I'm going to go break even, or try my stop loss down into the low of today. This is the overall one extension target. This would be my ideal take profit. Looking forward for these bearish fair value gaps to act as resistance. Let me quickly check if my drawdown is getting out of hand. No, that's all good. We are all clear. So we took out the slow now, those two equal lows. And immediately we got a rejection of that level. Let's watch ES. ES keeps on holding that support, about to break our high. Let's get rid of that macro tracker for a sec. Same goes for NQ. Oil also pushing once more to the upside. And on the British pound US dollar, first of all, I don't like the look at all these gaps. EU is looking a hell lot clearer. So I might just focus on that. Let's see. We could also change our brackets to how many ticks we are in profit and how many percentages. Now here, there we go, money, and we do this in ticks, percentages. Yeah, let's do percentages. That might be a little less biased. The tick value for FX futures. Oh, let me. Right here, 6.25 US dollars. So pretty much half of a E-mini S&P 500 futures contract right here, which is 12.5. And the tick size is very similar to what we have on ES. So yeah, I don't actually know why most of those gurus or mentors that trade ICT-Concepts on Forex don't use the futures chart. I don't know. would make the most sense to me, because you have all the advantages to a centralized chart. Because I could swear that out of, let's say, 50 Forex brokers, 25 of them did not go above this high. They had a manipulation, or they even went up to this level, and that's the screwed thing about it. Your fair value gaps are going to be different. When we're trying to seek precision, that's all this is about. We're not looking for rough entries, blah, blah, blah. We're seeking precision. Yeah, then you also want to have a precise environment to work with. Yeah, that's the same thing. What's that, Ulrich? Oh, thanks for that little overview. Let's pin that. I can't pin that. Everyone make sure to check out the chat. Let's see, so we took out the sell side liquidity right here from earlier during the London session. Those two equal lows. So the session low is taken out. I think I might just close the trade now.
Order filled.
Alright, cool. That scared me. Alright, so we hit our 3-to-1 risk reward. That's our target. Don't want to be greedy. If we go to a higher time frame, we might see a better picture. So on the 5-minute, we had this volume imbalance here, this fair value gap from the 1-minute time frame, went above the 50% level, got our 61.8 entry, and we hit our 3-to-1 risk reward target. Nice. Let me quickly screenshot that and keep track of it on our chat. Yeah, and we pretty much should be done now. All right, nice. Let's go back to the stream and open up the chat. All right, so your US dollar is done. I would not be looking for any more setups. Done in green. Let's see. So we have equal highs. They are destined to be taken. It's 9.29. So we could get a nice reversal right here on ES as well. I screwed my account balance there. Alright, that's gonna be a fun journey to make that back with all these. Now let me check out oil. Alright, so let's get rid of this alert line. Our most recent lowest low or swing low would be right here. So we cleared this high. Unfortunately, didn't get better. Pretty much at the same level that we looked at previously. So not an ideal setup if we consider the size. Nasdaq went above the previous day's high again. Let's see what it's going to do right at market open, because that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. Let's check out the setup on British Pound US dollar. Oh no, there was no setup because we did not take out this high. Fair enough. To be honest, if it would have been a solid trade, a solid setup on the EU, and I would have actually managed to risk the proper amount and not just take 0.25% profit, then I would already close the charts now. We got our setup. Right now I'm just watching for the rest of the session out of curiosity. Let's see, we've got 1 more minute until market open. So we can see as soon as we took that sell side, we got an immediate bounce. That's what we like to see. Equal lows, got a bounce. Continue to the next level of equal lows, got a bounce. That's why these are important. The volume imbalance right here. This volume imbalance from the 5 minute kept holding as resistance. 5 seconds. Let's watch ES in that meantime and see what market open is going to do. Market is open. Equal highs right above, high of day right above, previous day high right above us. I guess this would be the next likely draw on liquidity if I'm not completely wrong. Or we might grab some lows out right here, liquidate some longs that already got the initial direction right, and maybe trade their stops now between these lows right here, quickly grab them, reverse back up. Here, Nasdaq just kept on holding support again. Let's see, oil. Tough setup. I'm going to set my alert, so I'm not going to miss it. In reality, I mean, I've did this whole analysis using macros, VIPs, and everything else yesterday, and it worked out perfectly. But I think we might just be better off if we keep it simple without using a bunch of different fancy indicators by doing that, what we just did on Euro US dollar. We're going to backtest the simple system. If we go above the high right here at pre 8:30 market structure shift, we had our big fair value gap, we returned right into it, and we hit our targets in terms of sell side liquidity. Keep it simple, keep it repeatable. Yeah, this is pretty much what I would focus on. And then we try to catch 1 or 2 setups maybe throughout the session. And yeah, leave it at that. Really. What do you guys think? Yeah, we'll also think it. We keep a look at it today. So the buy side liquidity is about to be taken. The FX currencies are pretty much done for me. We keep a look at oil if we break above this high once more. We can maybe look at potential market structure shift right here at this level. But I think for now I'm going to focus on our indices. This kept on holding support beautifully. There we go, taking out the high of the day. Pretty obvious that draw on liquidity, especially with that previous day high and stuff. Let me go to the daily time frame and quickly mark that up. And also note, we're still inside this bearish fair value gap that we talked about yesterday. So now we're also above a previous day's high. Here's the 50% level. We can also drag that out. Go back to the 1 minute. What we would like to see now is an instant rejection. This would be our market structure shift level. And we see how that goes on. So right now, bouncing off the high of the day. And those 830 equal highs. I keep a look at NASDAQ right here. Also pumped back above this high. This has been the high of the day, pre-830. And this would also be our market structure shift right here so far. Also, by the beginning of the next month, I'm going to work on all these indicators on the weekend, and then I will release them. Right here, this is typical before we take out the previous day's high, which was pretty obvious since we already moved very close to it. They offered discount again. Back to the upside. All right, let's see. Let's watch market structure on ES since we now broke the high. Oil now still doing its thing. Euro US dollar sort of consolidating now. British pound. NASDAQ. NASDAQ is already pushing up again. Very strongly actually. The fair value gap right at 830. Look at resistance, broke above it, support, support, right at market open, no stress. Yeah. Alright, let's see if ES can follow. So we've been rejected to the tick of that midpoint of our daily fair value gap, which would be this one right here. or this is our daily fair value gap that we're currently spending time inside of. So if ES keeps pushing up above this high, we can shift market structure to the slow right here. Okay, we're above this high. NQ already left the chat. Took out the high of today, pulled back. EU might be likely to go for this low of today. London completely doing its own thing. That's nice. All right, let's go back to yes. Strong push right here. Let's see if we can break above this fair value gap. This is a 4-hour time frame fair value gap. Just keeping track of it now. Price is super strong, and I don't think that I want to short this right now, at least. Turn on our macros. The next macro will happen from 9:50 until 10:10. But for a market structure shift to happen, price would have to come back all the way down till here. Same for Nasdaq. Oil just shifted market structure. Can try it on oil. We just filled a little fair value gap right here, pretty much the only one that's left if we measure from high to low. That's right at the 50% level, so might be worth to try a short right at, thank you. Right from this fair value gap, trying to our stop loss at the high. We are going to buy one. See how this plays out. Nasdaq and ES are just pushing very strongly. So we formed a higher high, higher low. We formed a new higher high. We look for the lowest point between those two highs, which would be the low. We broke below that. Even if it's just with a wick, we left behind a fair value gap in this displacement leg. Everything else, there's just a bunch of volume imbalances right here. So we will see. This has pretty much been the only chance we got. We could have also placed a sell limit right here. I entered with a market order on this bearish fair value gap. We will see if that plays out. My stop loss is one tick above that candle that created the bearish fair value gap, targeting a 3-to-1 risk reward. We have a dollar value of $10 per tick. Let's see. This would be the first valid setup that we got today above the high of the day. Nasdaq and the ES keep on pushing. We could view this as short-term low. Right here. Once we break this high. Okay, we broke this high, so we could treat this as a short-term low for a potential market structure shift. Watching oil, nice rejection wick right here. On oil at the 61.8 retracement. Would be right here. Yeah, we will see. We've already got a nice rejection wick, and we did not close above this bearish fair value gap. And your stop loss is going to be at this high if I think correctly. A bit lower, okay, fair enough. Since we have that fair value gap, I felt like I have to take that chance, especially with the 50% right here. We will see. 2 ticks above the body high. 1, 2, yeah. We will see. 61.8 is just here. 1, 2. Targeting a 3-to-1. Those are the sorts of market structure shifts I do not like. After a massive pump, those very tiny ones, most of the time it's just faking out, filling one of those lower fair value gaps, continuing further to the upside. And if we quickly check our ES chart right here, now we're still inside this bearish fair value gap, and I think we just shifted market structure. Yeah, I'm done with EU. We caught our trade there. Not looking for a silver bullet. Did not take out this low. Continuing to push up higher, so we're going to watch oil again. We want to see a clear break through this bullish fair value gap. We just filled it in completely. The good thing is that we, let me go back to the original chart. We have equal lows right below here. Treating that as sell side. Making this in a black color text. So this is sell side. We had our market structure shift. We had this quick dip to the downside, a dump to pump, and a pump to maybe dump. We will see. We also have equal lows right here that we did not take out with this early New York dump. So theoretically we shifted market structure on ES, but look at that. If you feel like you want to take a trade here, I bet many brokers and many hedge funds will tell you you're more than welcome. But no, I mean, there's not even a setup here. I mean, maybe if we go to a 15 seconds time frame, I could be terribly wrong, and this fair value gap right here might hold, or those volume imbalances right here. But other than that, we don't really have anything. This volume imbalance. We have some room to drop, of course, don't get me wrong, but we also have lots of fair value gaps where we can easily bounce here. For a quick 2-to-1 scalp? Yeah, sure. Alright, we're about to hit sell side liquidity right here, so I'm going to trail my stop loss above this high. We're taking out the sell side. Continuing further down. This is our 3-to-1 risk to reward target. This is my full take profit. Alright, so we see we took out those equal lows, and they're immediate buyers that are hopping in, trying to push prices back up higher. But they won't stand a chance. NQ is still pushing up higher, even on the 15 seconds chart. No sign for a reversal anytime soon, while ES had a market structure shift. EU should have hit our initial take profit target, or our, no, it's about to hit the low of the day. It just took a while. Now the silver bullet, of course, would have worked. Silver bullet, fair value gap, bam, suck, into the low of the day. Yeah, cool. Not right here. I guess there's a right time and price for every setup. Alright, what are you doing? Took out those equal lows. I do not want to see price above this level again, so I modified my stop loss. Nah, that's bullshit. That's only what other YouTube mentors or someone who came up with strategies that a silver bullet setup is ideal between 10 and 11. Can happen everywhere at any time in the end of the day. I mean, that might be the one to focus on between 10 and 11. But silver bullet setups, same as with the 2022 mentorship reversal, there's also no specific time. Between 10 and 11, yeah, looking for the most obvious run on liquidity. Yeah. It's not wrong, but it's... I hope you know what I'm trying to say. There are silver bullets set up everywhere, basically. Every pullback continuation setup is a silver bullet setup in itself. This is a silver bullet setup right here. Fair value gap, equal low, sell side liquidity. Let's see if that is being taken away. Wouldn't even say highest probability. Yeah, maybe. Just the easiest to focus on. Alright, let's see. Not closing this trade on break even just yet. Q still pushing up higher, but it's losing momentum. I mean, we're watching it on a 15-second chart. Look at this pump. ES. Bullish reaction of this fair value gap. That's why I did not like. You removed your limit order. Okay. Why, if I might ask? Fair enough. So this would have been your overall target, even if you would have gotten your entry. Fair enough. But it worked on Euro US dollar as well. If we look at Euro again, we also had quite a deep retracement or pullback, if we want to say, and then we reached back into our fair value gap before we hit the low of the day. I mean, between here and there, let me quickly measure that. That's only 22 ticks. This pullback was 41 ticks, so roughly twice as much. Yeah, but no sell side liquidity was taken. I'm sure there was some sell side liquidity right here on this way, but I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. You're always on the safest side. Yes, that daily fair value gap has already been filled for a while. That's why I looked at this market structure shift, but yeah, I mean, pretty hard to take a short here with all these bullish fair value gaps right here. Where did we had it on our chart? I think it was right here. Yeah, that's a daily bearish fair value gap. The 4-hour fair value gap, the 50% level we rejected from earlier. We're now inside the 950, 1010 macro, where we could see our 9 to 10 a.m. high being taken out for a market structure shift right in here. You know what I'm trying to say? So this is currently our high of the 9 to 10 a.m. candle, unless we break it within the next 2 minutes. And then we would like to see a market structure shift above here to maybe trade a pullback into the previous day's high. That would be the idea. Therefore, we want to watch this current high. Oh, okay. New hourly candle. Not yet. I want to see it right here on this chart. This trade is protected. I'm all good with that. Maybe one tick above it, even though it wouldn't make much of a difference. Alright, let's see. Ideally, we want to see this high being taken for a potential reversal. Let's quickly check out Nasdaq. Nasdaq on a 1 minute time frame is looking, doesn't look as appealing. Okay, new hourly candle. We would like to see this high broken. Then we want to see a market structure shift, which would now be sitting at this level right here with this nice bullish rejection wick. This rejection wick would indicate me that buyers are entering the market and that this is likely going to be the next draw. So 9, new candle. Right, so we took out this high. Could now look for the lowest low between those 2 points, which would be this low right here. Nice rejection of our fair value gap here. Once more, did not close above it. That's what we like to see. You reversed a few ticks shy of our low of the day, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be taken very soon. Alright, I just don't want to have too many things on my chart. That's why I'm pushing these to the left. We know that there. Alright, so we are about to get a potential entry here. This is the market structure shift. So now, I mean, we're still at the same level, but now we have more confluence. We are inside of the macro. We just took out the previous hourly candle high. We're inside or at the top of this daily bearish fair value gap, instead of just this tiny little market structure shift here. Or to hold support, we have for the bullish case, we do not want to see a close below that. But for the reversal case, we would very much like to see that. NQ, no sign for a bearish reversal, but we will see. If we get a close below this bearish fair value gap, I would look forward for it to hold resistance for this market structure shift.
Order filled.
This is just me playing around a little. We will see how that's going to work out. Of course, we would wait for that market structure shift to happen first. We have a tiny little bearish fair value gap right here. Equal lows, market structure shift, the first initial pump above, and immediate bearish rejection. We will see if how this is playing out. I'm curious to see myself. Yes, I don't. We might just leave GU out. We will see.
Stop field. Order field.
Right, I think we got stopped out on oil as well, if I'm correct. Yup. Alright, that pushed right through. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but we still have a potential rejection right here, but we will see. I mean, this is a pretty strong move. Didn't play out. But as we can see from that 15 seconds chart, the last fair value gap, where we could hold potential resistance, would be sitting right up here, and we didn't close above that. We will see. And also if we measure from our high to our low that shifted market structure, this is lining up with some of the OTE entries. So that would be interesting to see if this one is playing out. Right, we note that one. I like this rejection. I'm going to trade this. Once more. Let's go back to Euro. Euro reversed completely from the slow. GU been pretty boring. Let's go back to ES. No market structure shift here, unfortunately. Just pushing back up higher. Same for NASDAQ, pretty much filling in this fair value gap. Market structure shift here would happen at this low. Yeah, I think I'm going to watch oil as well. This could be interesting. Also, first time for me trading oil futures. When I traded futures, it has mainly been NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So we will see. Also haven't done any back testing at all with the strategy on oil. So yeah, this is pretty much a shot in the dark. We formed a new higher high. Market structure shift would now be right here on these 4 equal lows. Yes, I will share them today. I still have to process them and upload them. They're pretty big files, and it might take a little while for it to be uploaded on YouTube. Yes, pretty much. This would have been a liquidity grab, we could say. Or the move to the downside right here at the beginning of the macro, where we formed this sort of inverse head and shoulder pattern. Low, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We will see. But it's worth the shot. I mean, this is almost too precise for it to not work out. This odd fair value gap right up here. Pushed right into it quickly. We will see. We will know much more once we done our live backtesting on the weekend. This is going to be my main ambition this weekend. But something must have happened here, otherwise we wouldn't have seen such a strong rejection. Alright, let's look at our charts. Yes, pushed up higher. Oil doing its thing. Nasdaq, same here. Euro US dollar pulled back once more, also having bigger rejection wicks right here. That reverse is coming eventually. Alright, nice little gap down here. Let me get rid of all these things that are not important right now. This is the 15-second fair value gap. This is the old entry. And this would have been the new one, based on this rejection wick. With our target being the sell side liquidity. I want to get rid of these lines here. Trading orders. No. There we go. I do not want to see all these lines in my chart. There are already enough lines on there. So right now, best case, we want to see those VIPs tagged as resistance. NQ keeps on pushing higher. Same for ES. We have equal lows here. They would be my target overall if we get a shot above here. Broke the high. NQ rock solid for this whole move to the upside. Insane. You would have never had to worry about a reversal. But everyone who's in that trade is already, when do I get out? It's not going to continue any further without pulling back. But it's just been smashing to the upside. That's insane. Alright, we really want to see this area to act as resistance. Otherwise, this might be a bullish play. Bouncing off these fair value gaps. So in our way right now would be this bullish fair value gap. Want to see a nice close below that now. Alright, didn't really get the close below it, right at the bottom of it. Maddie, where did you get your entry? Let me read. $72.87 on oil. 72.87. Also nice entry. This would have been the OTE 37.73.01 stop loss. Yeah, that's pretty much the exact same level that I have. Alright, so we still didn't get a close below this fair value gap right here. This bullish one. If we close back above this whip, I might cancel the trade. Alright, we keep on pushing. We could consider this is our new market structure shift lower. After taking out this high right here. And this high right there. Gapped up above this whip. Alright, let's see. This is still pushing up. Nasdaq is also still pushing up. Kind of exhausting. Just to see it rally and rally and rally and rally. not offering the setup we are looking for. You said you mentioned you shorted EU. Let's see, 5-minute fair value gap. Oh yeah, okay, I see. This one right here. Rejection wicks. Yeah, might be a fair play down to the low of the day. Plenty of room. Previous day slow. First day right here. Come on. This is really a tough one right here. Let's go back to ES. ES is super bullish. Hourly chart. Same right here. Remember the setup that I shared? Oh yeah, I really want to look at that. This morning on Discord, I looked at the chart and what I really wanted to see play out on US30 was a low of the day, low of the week reversal opportunity after having, let me go to the 50-minute time frame. Wanted to see at least 1.5 or 2 standard deviations of our of yesterday's range, basically. After we formed this seek and destroy range right here yesterday on US30, those higher highs during Asia, London and New York, we pretty much had a fake out during London. Everyone who stayed with us during the London Kyosan remembers that. And we just slightly missed our take profit here. And yeah, during New York or late London, we had that pushback. We pulled back into our range. So this idea that I shared during the very early hours before we started trading London is playing out. So we hit our first deviation target. Here's our second standard deviation target. This might be a Friday rally without ever coming back. And pretty much the same thing on ES, if I'm correct. High of day, low of day. Nah, yes, looks a little bit different, but also on a 50-minute time frame. The seek and destroy pattern right here. But we formed the low of the week on Wednesday and not Thursday right here. If we go back to US30, low of the week on Thursday with this major dump, liquidity grab below those two equal lows, pump above market structure shift, shifted market structure right here with this last wick. We went inside this bullish fair value gap, which lined up with the optimum trade entry, the 61.8 and the 50% level. Dipped into it quite a few times and then shifted market structure, kept on holding support in all these bullish fair value gaps and continued to rally above. Yeah. Insane. Alright, we're still holding rejection here. I had that feeling that we're just going to reverse on US30 after pretty much spending the whole week. Monday, yeah, that's Friday, we had this little push up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this seek and destroy consolidation at the top, below previous week's low, below everything basically. Seek and destroy, and then I saw this very early on Asia consolidation. I wanted to see London giving that breakout above this high already. But then we had this little reversal back into the lows, but we did never take out the Asian lows. If we would have taken them out, a long would have been awesome. We shifted market structure, pulled inside of this bullish fair value gap, and pretty much never came back. Oil is being a real pain in the ass here. We close above the VIP now. I might cancel on this trade. I'm not looking forward to short anymore on ES this Friday. There is certainly going to be a pullback, but I'm not going to trade it anymore today. Neither on NQ. I should have stuck more to my analysis on US30 and maybe trade that, but not looking for a reversal today. I mean, this is a multiple days setup, setting pretty much started from Monday with this continuous downtrend, the seek and destroy pattern that we saw on Thursday, with the reversal setup after this on Friday. Sounds like some Wall Street traders made up a plan. That's the second standard deviation. That would be quite the movement. That would have been Wednesday's low. We went below that. I have it on my Discord. Let me pull that up actually. We have that right here in the strategy chat. At the very beginning here. No, a little bit up higher. Yeah, so we have our previous week's high, our Monday's high. That pretty much started out the week, and this whole week we basically just spent in a continuous downtrend. Then we had this little seek and destroy pattern. That's going to be more clear if we look at this picture. We have our Asian range on Thursday. We took out the high, reversed to the low. Once we took out the Asian low, we reversed back up again, had a pullback to take out the London high. Once we took out the London high during New York, we took out the London low. What happened? We reversed again, taking out the New York low this time, taking out the high, and this has pretty much been the whole day. After 3 short days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we had that seek and destroy pattern, also below the previous day's low. Asia started once again with a consolidation, as you can see here, and this has been the trade idea that I was looking for but didn't act on. I don't know why. I guess because I'm a scalper by heart. One new message. All right. So check oil. All right. I hope it's looking good. Nice. I was a little bit afraid that you're going to tell me check oil and it's going to be somewhere up here. But nice. So we rechecked that once again. But I would really like to see a clear break now and not this little pullback bull flag sort of thing for a break to the upside. My take profit is the low right here. Those equal lows. The low that we did below right here. This would be the low of the day. I want to see a drop after all this. I mean, according to the plan, this should be the high of the day. And I'm not just going to have my take profit right here. And I need at least a 3-to-1. So theoretically right here. But you see that orders, yeah, I don't know, I don't like it. This looks more or less like we have this little head and shoulder pattern here, if you see what I mean. We have our shoulder left, our head that goes below the left shoulder, pull back, forming our right shoulder, market structure shift, pull back into the fair value gaps, consolidating, move to the upside. That's what's holding me back a little of thinking that might still work, especially since we've done this whole movement right here. But we will see. I could be terribly wrong. That's what analysis is sometimes. And I hope that I'm wrong in this case. On US 30, that is just ripping. I mean, come on. We're going to keep an eye on that as well. So, yeah, on a sort of weekly template, we will see. I think it's just 10:30. I mean, it's the first hour since the market has opened up. I could actually see Monday's high being taken out today. This would be insane. I would need at least a week to recover from that mental issue that I'm going to have once, if that is going to play out, because the analysis was there, I had it, but I didn't act on it. I mentioned it. Yeah, that's the problem with shitty scalpers. Okay, seems to be playing out. Your TP hit. What was your TP? Sell side liquidity. What kind of risk to reward ratio? $2.5. Nice, that's good. That's what we would be looking for. I'm placing my buy stop now right here at break even. I do not want to see it go back up. If it's going back up, screw it. I'm gonna be done for the day. But this is a joke. Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're going to definitely make sure that if we see a whole day where this setup keeps repeating, where London takes out Asia high and low, and New York takes out the London high and low, we're going to note these days, because these could be potential days after which we get a reversal setup on the next day, and an explosive reversal setup, not just a weeny little reversal setup, an explosive one, like right here, without pretty much coming back. So Ulrich, maybe next time we notice a seek and destroy day on US 30 or Euro US dollar, pretty much wherever, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we might have, let me turn on the blah 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 Scalper Pro. A seek and destroy day. This pretty much would have been when we took out Asia during London, we pumped back up. Seek and destroy, London, pump up. Well, screw it. That's not what we're looking for. Let's focus on our indices, but I'm not. Our short would now be sitting right up here, but I won't be shorting for the rest of the day. Let's see. For me, that would have been a risk reward of 2. Want to see this fair value gap act as resistance now. We just hit our optimum trade entry of this PD array. So if this is not a short, this is very likely the area where it's going to reverse from bullish. Euro just hit our low of the day. Mary, did you take that short? I think you mentioned you took that short based on a 5-minute. Paper. Always the good ones. 1 to 4 risk reward, yeah. It's always paper. Also during that macro, so yeah. I mean, if we look on the 5-minute time frame, that previous hour, 9 to 10, happened from... Okay, now there was no turtle soup setup in itself, but yeah, a nice silver bullet setup, for sure. 15-minute, 30-minute, 3-minute. We measure the range from our leg to the downside to here, above the 50%, 61.8, almost optimum trade entry. Nice trade. But yeah, unfortunately the good ones are always on paper. Let's see what's happening with that one. There's that one trader that I know. And I'm very certain that he got onto this seek and destroy madness on US30 that we talked about earlier with this massive extension to the upside. Pretty sure he's in big profits. Well, it is what it is. Alright, a good session. How many hours did you catch today? 2.5 on a live account? That's nice. Good way to finish off the week. Yes, with that paper trading one. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much where you should also finish. I mean, we caught that short on Euro US dollar, also live, right here. This initial one from this big inefficiency, which perfectly matched with our high of the day reversal very early on. Bum, into our 3 to 1. Ah, that's the one you chickened out of. Okay, now, next time, not chicken out of it. And yeah, you'll be right. We had on one awesome short. Theoretically, we would have already finished the session after this one right here. This would have been the first one. Everything else, I wouldn't have cared about. Maybe one more on a different pair. But we will see. On oil, I think oil would have been the next one because the indices, they just rallied to the upside without pretty much ever coming back. Yeah, so every pullback right here where we would have hoped for a market structure shift. Yes, talk to you Sunday. Take care and enjoy your weekend. Bye. All right. So let's see what we're looking at. Going to let this oil trade play out. And I will be back in a few seconds. I'm just grabbing a drink of water. Alright, let's see this last trade play out before we end the live stream. Kept on holding resistance right here. I'm just going to watch that on a higher time frame because it's easier to watch there. Not as hectic. Still pushing up. This is insane. Ah, god damn it. It's that feeling when you caught it and yeah. You didn't act on it. You were waiting for reversals this whole way to the upside. Let me check out US30 quickly. Did we already hit the second extension? From the low to the high. Yep, we just hit the second extension. Wow. So from the 61.8 retracement level right here during Asia, let's say we got in at the 50 during London. 400 pips, easy. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, we do not want to see this fair value gap to hold support right here, this bullish one. Not at all. Nice. Yeah, but we want to see the close below here. Otherwise, I'm going to close the trade once we break this level. We just touched our second extension. And look what we're looking at right now. So we might be seeing that reversal now on ES. So a market structure shift based on a 15-second would be too much, too low. Let's go to the 30 seconds. Would be right here. One minute. Yeah, I think that would be a fair point. Nice. We finally closed below this fair value gap. Holding resistance right here. I think our target is likely to be hit. So theoretically we shifted market structure on ES now for the first time. Having targets right here at those equal lows. And below all these lows, of course. This would be my best case scenario. Take profit target, those equal lows all the way down here. For a little pullback. Possible entries, we would have to wait for this candle to close. To look for that, we have a fair value gap. I would use the inverted fair value gap, certainly. Is it worth the risk? I mean, I don't have much to risk anymore today on my trader weight account. We have a little fair value gap right here. Low to high. Optimum trade entry is above that, so I would maybe use the 61.8. So my stop loss is already at this high, yep. Now this bullish fair value gap, we want to see it act as resistance for a run into our low. We do not want to see a close above it again. I think then I might just close the trade and call it in. I'm watching this on ES as NQ is still not shifting market structure, basically just filled in this fair value gap right here. So this could just also be a liquidity grab right here on ES. British pound also took out the low of the day. Same for euro, about to take out yesterday's low. We got a very nice entry right up here, which already hit our 3-to-1, this being the silver bullet setup. Oil is still in play. Go back to ES. Anyone taking that short? Ulrich, are you taking that short? I mean, it's pretty much the first market structure shift that would be valid. I might paper it, but also then I don't just to. Yeah, we will see. Let's open it up. I will place a sell limit on the 61.8. That would be a 3 point. That's realistic. 12 ticks.
Order filled.
Order filled. Let's see. This trade has been going on for quite some time, and we are starting to form some sort of a channel. You see that channel? Our 3-to-1 risk reward take profit target right here. Nasdaq is already way above this high, so we might get a divergence setup here. Guess that would be our best case. We have the 15-second fair value gap just right here. We're inside of that right now. So the optimum trade entry, if I would have looked at the 15-second chart, would have been my preferred entry. 10 tick stop loss, targeting an easy 3-to-1 into those equal lows. Right here and right here. This might actually look like a decent setup. This might actually work. We took out this low now. There we go. Yes, it's also dropping. Beautiful setup. Let's see if it's getting a quick close below this fair value gap right here. Alright, we continue to drop without having any major fair value gaps anymore, so I think that might just work. It dropped. We have volume imbalances right here. Targeting our 3-2-1. Really going to place my buy limit here. I don't see a reason why it's going to reverse from this zone once to take the liquidity below that. Right here, this is where I'm going to place my limit. Yep. ES is also playing out nicely. Let's quickly check our chart right here. Once we break structure right here, I want to move my stop loss to break even. Like said, we have our targets right here and right here, all these lows. Quickly go back to oil and check on that. We have this fair value gap now. We've been at it for so long now. I think this channel has officially failed. And the sell side liquidity below those equal lows is next. If we're going to reverse from here, so be it. So be it, honestly. Dragging my stop further into profit. Right here. So be it. ES. Sort of getting rejected here. We have these two fair value gaps to act as resistance. Right here and right there. Get rid of the macros. Are we currently in a macro? Yeah, 10:50 to 11 a.m. Alright, so we have the 11 a.m. hourly candle open just around the corner. I do not want to see this high being violated, so I watch it closely. Screw it. I want to out of this trade. Don't feel confident about it. Yes, it's too strong. Let's focus on our oil trade. Closer that smooth 500. Done. I think that should be enough for today. We had some nice trades. Let's see if our 3-1 would have already been hit. Would it have been? Yep. That's our 3-1 on oil. This is our overall sell side. I don't like this recovery of this bullish fair value gap. That's why I closed the trade. If we look at it on a 1 minute time frame, yeah, we got the market structure shift. If we look at Nasdaq, we've already made 2 new higher highs, so this has been a higher high on Nasdaq, and this one already is as well. It's just too much momentum in the market for me to short it and risk live funds. I mean, how many people do you think are sitting in front of their charts right now trying to short that thing here? Quite a few. So when there's short volume coming into the market, there's plenty of buyers who are happy to buy this back up. Also smart money buyers. So yeah, we will see. Not worth the risk to me personally right now. We could just drop here. I think we have the opportunity to do that, but we also have the opportunity to quickly pump above the 10 to 11 a.m. high, have our market structure shift again, and then dump. Because then we would also have the power of the macro, which is forming currently, in our favor. Look at that. On this whole rally to the upside, we left behind no higher time frame, multi time frame volume imbalances. Sorry about that. Do you see that? Volume imbalances, a whole cluster of them. And right now, where we are. In between right here, everything has been priced in fairly. No volume gaps, nothing at all. But here, quite a few. They don't load all the way back to there. That's why I like to look at them, especially when we see clusters of volume imbalances. Like right here, okay, maybe not this one, but all the other ones are volume imbalances, and we start to see them right up here inside of this macro. I will watch the hourly open. I will also check out oil. I think it's about, we've got resisted off this fair value gap. Nice. This would have been the overall drawn liquidity, which is going to be hit next. Recovered some of our loss that we took today. Some of our losses. Getting better for this little play account. Let's see. 2 more minutes. I wouldn't feel confident holding a short, even if it's optimum trade entry whatsoever. And it already got back to my entry now. 1 minute basically before the new hourly candle opens up. About to take out the sell side. This would be the low of the day. So let's see. We've got 17 more seconds left. This is looking rather interesting. We're still inside this big fair value gap on the 15-second. Get rid of the macros. Okay, new hourly candle opened up. We're inside this fair value gap right here. Theoretically shifted market structure again. And there we go. Adios, market structure shift. And we've got a market structure shift even now on NQ. If we take a close look, 1 minute. Not on the 1 minute. That's just enough sellers jumping into this pin bar right here, so all the buyers can get onto it again and push price up higher. They're not done just yet. This is going to be a massive rally. Oil now shifted market structure down here. And I think this might be the end of today's stream. We're learning a lot. We're getting better catching our reversals. We caught one today on EU and oil. Both hit a 3-to-1 risk to reward. We took a loss prior to this trade right here because, or at least a break-even trade. I entered right here on this first fair value gap with my stop 1 tick above those 2 equal highs, targeting as well a 3-to-1 risk to reward right here. It hit sell side liquidity, those 2 equal lows, and I moved my stop loss to, I think, the high of this wick, and I've been stopped out by this massive stop hunt right here, which also happened during a macro. So right here, this is a small break-even trade. I'm just going to leave it on the chart. All right, go back to ES quickly and see. Okay, we still haven't broken through this high yet. This might still be in play actually. Let's see if they're going to bounce off this level again or if they are going to just drop through it. I think it's going to drop. So it's time to enter longs. If I think it's going short, go long. No, I'm kidding. Let me draw this up properly. We had our market structure shift. We have our fair value gap based on the 15-second chart. We bounce off this level again. This is ridiculous. Just saw the trade ideas here. We have sell side. And we have more sell side. There we go. Was short from the optimum trade entry. or the beginning of this fair value gap really. Stop loss 1 tick above that. A 2 to 1 down here. I don't know, for me personally, too risky. I exited, especially with that new hourly opening. Too simple, too simply hunt these stops right here. Too simple. But nice to see this market structure shift here worked out on ES. Let's watch NQ. Also about to shift market structure. Alright, this might just be the end of the stream. So let's see if a 3 to 1. This would have been our 4 take profit target. Entering of this fair value gap. We just leave it at this 1 minute fair value gap. Alright, so reversal lows equal lows right here. Let me check, could I have let this trade running? Let me see. Perfect, now that should be right. No obvious fair value gaps where we could enter on. We could turn on our volume imbalances. We should now see them acting as resistance for the continuation short setup. If we go to a daily time frame, I'd be curious where we reverse from. Yeah, look, we are not that far away from taking out our previous week's high. But we could get a little reversal from the top right here. With the macro lining up, the 10:50 to 11 a.m. macro, but I still would have preferred seeing this rate here and then shifting market structure. But we get the idea with the macro being right here. But we like to see this setup, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like no. I think that's just personal bad experience with these kind of setups around a new hourly opening. 59.11 push and then burst right from here. Which would line up with that 15-second fair value gap, if you remember. This is the 15-second fair value gap, and we did not close above it. We filled it in to the tick. Right here and there. Alright, let's see. I think I'm going to enter stream now. It's past 11 a.m. New York local time. That's usually when we stop trading with our strategy. Nasdaq also shifted structure right now. The British pound should be at the low of the day, I think. Therefore, we would have to look on this chart. Euro US dollar took out the low of the day, and I think is about to already took out yesterday's low as well. So this would have been the silver bullet setup. This time the proper silver bullet setup, as we reversed a few pips above the low of the day, pulled back. What do? We use our retracement tool, low to high, optimum trade entry area. If we go to a higher time frame, we have a fair value gap right here. That's looking juicy. Only wicks closed, we didn't close above it, only wicks wicked a little bit above that. Getting an entry on a nice rejection wick would have worked out, taking out the low of the day and eventually the previous day's low, which is almost lining up perfectly with yesterday's low right here on EU. But this is something else. We're going to look at continuation setups once we finalized and did enough backtesting on our reversal strategy. So overall, win on EU, a win on oil right here with this drop to the downside. Not that significant on a higher time frame, but on a 1 minute, enough for us to hit our 3-to-1 risk reward. And now very likely also on ES, a 3-to-1 risk reward trade. Yes, there we go. Let me quickly take a screenshot of that. No, here we have that. ESM. I guess I got a little bit scared now on this trade when I saw that new hourly candle. That's a 15-second fair value gap right here, entry. There we go. Alright, let's share it in the live trade section. Alright, after this market structure shift here now, we also filled these fair value gaps. So I'm glad I exited oil. And yeah, overall, a nice trading session. I will be back tomorrow for the live back testing. I also will record that. I will make sure I get all the videos, all the live stream recordings uploaded to YouTube. And yeah, I think this will be the end of our live stream session today. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching it to the end. And yeah, I hope you have learned something new, and make sure to enjoy your weekend. That's the only time where we can recover from all our efforts and mental labor that is going into our trading business. Alright guys, take care, and I will see you this weekend. Bye.